we could have done better in that a really sophisticated approach to the case would have been to try to put it all on with video evidence. That is not usually an easy thing to do. I would say with 20/20 hindsight, it's something that could have been done. And I own that. I mean, ultimately, the buck stops here. It's not my job to throw other people under the bus. If there's a decision that is poor, and I believe that that was an incorrect decision, then we have to own it, and we have to try to do better moving forward.
Each day, new information continues to surface about the tragic Kada Scott case, exposing mistakes that investigators made early on. Authorities now admit that several key details were overlooked, and the latest reports suggest they may finally have strong evidence. According to insiders, police have obtained video footage proving that Keon was not acting alone in connection to Kada's death. In fact, it's believed that 2 other individuals were involved, and rumors claim that Keon might have been hired to carry out the crime. The situation keeps getting darker and more complicated. Ever since the anonymous phone call that led police to the exact spot where Kada's body was found, detectives have been working non-stop to find out who made that call and whether that person was also involved. Investigators have now reviewed surveillance footage showing Keon with 2 other people on the same day Kada's body was moved. Initially, it was thought that one person helped Keon carry a heavy bag believed to contain Kada's remains. But new evidence points to a third person who also took part in transporting her body. Police now believe this crime was planned in advance, leaving everyone wondering, was it over money, or did Kada know too much?
Yes, Sheba and Jason, Keon King appeared over video conference for his arraignment, and he was polite, answering yes ma'am when the judge asked him a question. King has been in custody for over a week now in connection to Kada Scott's disappearance and now murder, and the judge says he'll remain behind bars without bail.
The tragic story of Kada Scott began long before her disappearance on October 4th. That was the day she was last seen alive, before her body was later found buried in a shallow grave behind Ada H. Lewis Middle School. But according to court records, the connection between Kada and Keon King, also known as Kel, actually started on September 28th. That was the first time Keon messaged her. A few days later, on October 2nd, he reached out again using a TextNow number, a service that allows users to send texts through temporary numbers. He told her he had changed his number and reintroduced himself. These messages were recovered from court documents, but investigators believe that not all of their exchanges have been made public yet, especially since the case might still go to trial. On October 4th, Kada sent Keon a chilling text that said, "Kiddin' me again," and he replied, "Better be up, too." They agreed to meet later that night. At 10:09 p.m. Kada sent what would be her final message, "See him when you're here," which detectives say meant "call me." Not long after, she was seen getting into a dark-colored SUV and leaving. By 10:24 p.m., her phone went silent. Investigators now believe the vehicle was a black Hyundai Accent that Keon had stolen from a pizza delivery driver earlier that evening. The car was later found parked near the Albury Recreation Center, close to the middle school, for more than 36 hours. Surveillance footage from October 5th shows 2 people moving what appeared to be a heavy object, believed to be Kada's body, from the car toward the wooded area. A gold Toyota Camry was also spotted leaving the scene, suggesting a third person may have been involved. On October 7th, the black Hyundai was found burned, likely in an attempt to destroy any DNA or physical evidence. So far, police believe Keon had at least 2 accomplices, possibly including 2 women who lived with him. However, online speculation points to another person, Gabby, who went viral on TikTok defending herself for not calling the police despite knowing key details about Keon and Kada's situation.
So one day Keon calls me, and keep in mind I am in school, I am in Maryland, and he will usually just call me, just to check up and talk. So he calls me and he asks me if I know Kada. And I'm like, yeah, I know Kada. And he's like, oh yeah, I noticed that she lives really close to you. I'm like, yeah, like she lived right in the back of me. And I'm not thinking nothing of it because he usually calls me and, we just be chatting. He'll call me about like, the people that be around because he is the pharmacist. I live in the neighborhood and he be in my neighborhood. So we hang up the phone and that was that. We were only on the phone for 29 seconds. So you can see that this is the day that he called me and there was no reason to call the cops. He already turned himself in and I felt like it would be kind of a waste of time to tell them that the guy that they already have in custody, called me and was asking about the girl. And me personally, I'm not a cop caller. Like I don't call the cops. That's just the way that I grew up. That's what I was around. They will always tell me, you don't call the cops. So I just felt like, the information that I had and the fact that, I'm just not really a cop caller, it wouldn't make sense for me to call the cop.
Gabby tried to make herself look innocent in her video, but instead, it made people even more suspicious. She claimed that Keon called her for 29 seconds and that's when she told him Kada lived nearby. However, the screenshot she posted clearly showed outgoing, meaning Gabby was the one who made the call, not Keon. This raised a lot of questions about what they were really talking about. Things got even more questionable when people discovered Gabby's criminal record. She had been arrested in March 2025 for serious charges, including weapon possession, threats, and assault, but was later released on bond while awaiting trial.
Time that I'm taking my midterms. So I'm really just trying to keep my head on the books and I wasn't really trying to let this stress me out. So I kind of just let it go. He turned himself in. It's not really much to say or do anymore.
With Gabby's criminal history and Keon's reputation as the neighborhood pharmacist, it's becoming more and more clear that Gabby may have a much stronger connection to Keon and this entire situation than she's admitting. There are too many signs that point toward her being more involved than she wants people to believe. What makes everything even darker is the growing belief that this whole plan was set in motion long before Keon ever reached out to Kada on September 28. One of Kada's co-workers from the nursing home where she worked shared that, before she disappeared, Kada seemed deeply upset. The co-worker overheard her saying, "I can't believe you're calling me about this." That statement alone suggests that someone had been bothering her even before Keon came into the picture. Kada's parents later revealed that she had told them, just days before she vanished, that someone was harassing her. This raised new questions. Did Kada somehow anger the wrong person? Was Keon brought in to handle it for someone else? Because if that's true, then Keon may not have acted alone or even started this on his own. Then there's the disturbing way Kada lost her life. According to the Philadelphia Medical Examiner, she suffered a direct blow to the head. But here's the thing that doesn't fit Keon's usual pattern. His criminal record shows a history of violent behavior, especially against women, but his previous methods were more personal and hands-on. He was known to use physical force like choking, which shows rage and control. So, the way Kada was attacked, a quick, detached strike, seems unlike his normal behavior. It almost feels like he wanted to get the job done without getting too close or leaving too much evidence. And let's not forget, Keon wasn't just any regular guy. People in the neighborhood called him the pharmacist for a reason. He dealt in dangerous substances. That lifestyle often comes with shady dealings, and it's not hard to believe that he might have gotten involved in something far more sinister. This case could be the first time his actions finally caught up to him. As investigators piece everything together, the community is hoping that this time there's enough solid evidence to keep Keon behind bars for good. Many people once thought maybe Kada's death was some kind of accident, or a bad situation that went too far. But the more you look at it, the less that theory makes sense. If it was an accident, why would Keon show up in a stolen car? Why risk drawing attention to himself like that? That kind of move doesn't scream mistake, it sounds premeditated. Besides, Kada clearly knew him. The messages they exchanged show some level of familiarity, maybe even trust. That makes it even more tragic, because it's likely she didn't see any danger coming when she agreed to meet him that night. Keon's actions afterward also make him look reckless and arrogant. Dumping Kada's body in his own neighborhood shows either unbelievable boldness or complete stupidity. He even picked her up from her job, knowing witnesses could easily identify him later. It's like he didn't think he'd ever get caught, or he believed someone would cover for him. And then there's Gabby. A lot of people believe she knows far more than she's saying. Her story doesn't add up. Her past is full of red flags, and she keeps trying to shift the focus off herself. Many think she should face charges too, because her involvement, whether direct or indirect, can't be ignored anymore. So, was this whole thing pre-planned? Was Keon following orders from someone else? Or did it just spiral out of control after a setup gone wrong? The case keeps unfolding fast, and new details seem to come out every day. Whatever the truth is, one thing's for sure, justice for Kada is long overdue.